Part 3. Okay, so consider his options, Obama's options from here. He could turn to the right, like Clinton did in 1994. But the first problem is that he's already there. If you look carefully at his policies, he's basically running George Bush's third term. Regressives conveniently forget this. They call him weak on national security even while he is dramatically escalating the war in Afghanistan, hardly draws down in Iraq, breaks his own promise to close Gitmo, and smashes through a $700 billion mark in military spending for the first time in U.S. history, not counting the expenses for the Afghanistan war. They ignore his Bush clone policies on state secrets, renditions, executive power, and other civil liberty issues. His other option, of course, would be to do more of the same, as he's already doing now. But you know, people are hurting, frightened, and angry. And this presidency and his party is suffering badly because he is not addressing their very tangible concerns. Going this route, he'd be lucky if the public was kind enough to let him finish his term, his single term, as a James Buchanan wannabe, and then go home. The obvious solution, of course, would be a sharp turn to the left. Go where the real solutions are. Fight the good fight. Call liars liars and thieves thieves. Do the people's business. Become their advocate against the monsters bleeding them dry. Create jobs. Build infrastructure. Do real national health care. End the wars. Dramatically slash military spending and produce actual educational reform. But I doubt, and again I'm reading from an essay here, and I'll post a link to it. But again, I doubt that Obama has anything like the Constitution for that sort of presidency. I think his personal disposition is so strongly controlling of his politics that he would rather preside as a 3-year lame duck over a failed one-term presidency than actually throw an elbow or two and make anybody uncomfortable. Think how unpleasant that would be. Of course, I don't give a shit about Obama anymore. But what about the country? And what if Republicans get back into power? Only the next time the Cheney party goes balls to the wall, bringing down on our heads a full-on fascist dictatorship, serving corporate interests in total, and likely launching a couple of good more wars abroad to complement the complete repression of dissent and freedom of expression here at home. Ridiculous? I try pretty hard every day, and it takes some work, to keep my most apocalyptic totalitarian nightmares in check. But think about this chronological sequence for a second. The Democrats get killed in November for doing nothing while the public suffers. But they're still seen as the party in power in 2012. So they get killed even worse, with Obama sent packing and Palin or her equivalent moving into Pennsylvania Avenue. But the new radical GOP's regime and their policies are even more detrimental to voters than Bush's or Obama's. Maybe the public is distracted for a year or two by some bullshit foreign policy crisis or another. But pretty soon they're getting real restless. After about 6 years of all the stuff of suffering badly and things getting worse, they're getting real surly. And anti-incumbent doesn't begin to describe the mood of the country. Now they really want some serious change. Of course, anything can happen, but which part of that sequence seems improbable? And if the answer is none, then the salient question becomes, what does the regime do at that point, faced with an angry mob? What are the Dick Cheneys and Sarah Palins of this world committed to? What are they capable of when pressed? I don't think those questions really require a response. I think we all know pretty well the answers. This is the country that Obama, the great hope guy, is bequeathing us. Dante said, "The hottest places in hell are reserved for those who in times of great moral crisis maintain their neutrality."